Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Communities Live here on Sheffield Line 93.2 FM. Chris and Ellie here, and we have singer-songwriter Catlea. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining me today. Give us a bit of background. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you said, my name's Catlea, and I'm a singer-songwriter. I make all different kinds of music, from indie pop to indie rock to singer-songwriter. Also done a bit of EDM with different DJs and producers. And I am a full-time musician who just released their first full-length album.
I've got to ask you, Catlea. Who are your main influences?
That's a great question. Honestly, my biggest influences for the sound that I have and the sound that I want to go for are Paris, Lily, Is That You, Sabrina Carpenter a little bit, Ariana Grande a little bit, at least with the voice, the way that she sings. There's a whole lot though. There's, all different kinds of influences from, as I've said in other interviews, like Pink Floyd, all the way to, like I said, Ariana Grande. It's pretty vast. And there's some influences that you wouldn't really expect because on the surface level, our music sounds completely different. But I like to take influence from basically all kinds of music just to see, like, listen to each song and see what in each song, what elements of each song make it such a great song and how I can utilize that myself.
You mentioned a lot of influences like Sabrina Carpenter, Ariana Grande, but if there's anybody that you could work with in the near future, who would it be and why?
Uh, I have a long list of that too. Honestly, either Hosier or Paris. Paris because I am probably their biggest fan in the whole world. I think they're just amazing. I feel like everybody should listen to Paris a little bit more. And Hosier because I mean everyone knows like that is one of the most incredible voices that anyone's ever had. Man has the voice of an angel, and he just seems like such a genuine, kind, compassionate person, and that's the kind of people that I like to work with. People with, that sort of connection to others just inherently within themselves.
As a musician yourself, what was that first song that you heard that inspired you to become that inspired you to think that you want to become a musician? What was that song?
Honestly, I I don't remember exactly what the song was because I must have been no older than 4 or 5. I mean, I always wanted to be a musician. I always wanted to make music. So knowing the way that I was raised and the fact that my dad used to make playlists for me to catch me up on all the music I missed while I was busy not being born yet, it was probably either something by the Beatles or Pink Floyd or Coldplay or something like that. I had a lot of different music that I listened to growing up, but basically from the time that I was aware, like as soon as I was sentient, I knew I wanted to be a musician.
As a musician yourself as well, how difficult is it to find that sound that you're looking for? Are you still looking, or have you found that sweet spot right now?
I think, your sound changes and evolves with time, and as you change and evolve as a person, with any art form, with anything that we're passionate about, it grows and changes and shifts with you with time. And also, I feel like one of the biggest issues that we have as musicians isn't so much finding your individual sound as it is trusting your sound. Like,
Mhm.
I know for a very long time, I felt like I didn't really know how to place my sound because I didn't stick to one genre. It's not just indie pop or indie rock or alternative or country or whatever. It's an amalgamation of all of the things that I've ever loved, all the music I've ever cared for and listened to and analyzed. And so when it comes to finding your sound, I would say the most important part of it all is just trusting that you will make something that is the best version of what that song is supposed to be, and have that confidence because eventually you'll figure out what you're supposed to sound like even if it's not something you've quite heard before, and that's actually a pretty good indicator you're doing something right, in my opinion.
To our listeners at home who want to break into music, what advice would you give it? And also, how difficult is it?
It is pretty difficult, but it's worth it. Most things worth doing are hard. Most things worth doing are scary. I would say the biggest and best advice I can give is to just keep trying, keep learning, keep growing, listen to as much music as possible, figure out what you like about those songs, reach out to people, ask if anyone you know knows musicians who could help you learn. You don't need classical training to be a musician. I mean, I was classically trained in piano for years and years, but that doesn't mean that I'm any better than someone who's taught themselves how to play piano from just hearing it. I think the most important thing, like I said, is just reaching out, finding resources, looking things up, and learning and growing, and not giving up if it's something that you're truly passionate about.
And I want to talk to you about your new album. So you've got it's called Language Barrier. And I mean, how long did that take to make? Was it a long process or did it come together quite quickly?
It it didn't take me long to write the songs themselves. It took much, much longer to actually produce them and get them perfect and have them all done and in the right order and everything put together and released. Which was a combination of this is my first ever full-length album, so I didn't really know what went into making an album yet. It's a combination of the fact that I started this right around 2020, which was a very bad time to be doing huge projects,
So,
or a very good one if you are able to do it from your own home. But we did all of it remotely for the most part. There were only a couple of songs that were recorded in the room with the producers. Um, and it, so it each song I wrote in like maybe a day or two, and then went back and tweaked a few things here and there, played it for people, took their notes, made them more refined and stuff. But the actual recording process took, as I just sort of admitted, basically 4 years, 5 years. Um, but it was worth it. And honestly, once you get over that hurdle of getting that big project done that you've never done before, the next time that you do it, it'll be in half the time. It'll be much easier.
and I mean, I want to ask you as well. I mean, you mentioned COVID. So, I mean, because COVID was bad times for pretty much everybody. I mean, everything was shut down. I mean, music, movies, everything. And I want to
Mhm.
ask you, I mean, when COVID times were, we were stuck at home and everything, did it make making the music much more easier doing it from home, or would you prefer still doing it at the studio?
I feel like there were benefits to doing it at home and there were benefits to being able to be in the studio. Like there's certain aspects to each thing that, it's a balance of both pros and cons. So on one hand, it was easier because I could just spend all day sitting in my room writing my songs until I was happy with them. And I could take as long as I wanted to to make a demo and send it to my producers because they weren't in the room with me. But on the other hand, that also did not help because of my perfectionism. I have a tendency to retry and retry and retry until it's perfect, even though you can't actually achieve perfection. And so it would take me forever to send demos to my producers to the point where even now they go to my partner and they say, just record just record Catlea when you're playing a song. Don't let them listen back to it and send it to me. Like just do not do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Send it directly to us because otherwise it's not getting sent.
And I mean, I'm going to talk about language barriers. So, I mean, how can people get a copy of the album? Will it be released digitally? And also, will there be physical copies for people who don't have digital access?
So right now it's currently on all of the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, the works, all of that. But we don't currently have a physical copy yet. I would like to create a physical copy and put it on my merch shop. We do have CDs that are for my EP, Bones, which came out before the album, and all of the songs on that EP are also songs on the album. It's kind of like a pre-release kind of situation. So you get like a little taste of it if you get the CD. But eventually we do want to have a full-length CD or vinyl or some other, something that people can buy and physically listen to if they don't want to use Spotify or whatever.
And will there be a possible tour coming, possibly in Sheffield?
Oh boy, I can't say anything is confirmed right now, but I can say we are looking at tours. We are discussing options. I have been talking to someone who is planning on touring the UK, and I think Sheffield might be on the list. But I can't confirm who it is yet. Those rules and regulations and such.
So watch this space, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to talk about, if you can tell me, is there any future projects that you're currently working on, or is it all secretive at the moment?
It's still a bit secretive, but I will say I am working on some stuff, and it is meant to continue the story of language barrier a bit, not to stay stuck in that, moment in time, but the evolution of what came after, what's going to come after. Because that whole album is a concept album. It's about my life experience going through COVID and going through my relationships with people during that time. The story of me dating someone who wasn't good for me and me realizing that and getting out of it, and the support I got from my friends and all of that. And there's some lines in the album, there's some allusions to things that aren't actually on that album because they're meant to be shown later, they're meant to be discussed later. So hopefully, when I do start releasing new projects and new stuff, people will have fun with the Easter eggs of coming back and seeing, like, oh, that was planned out. Okay, that's cool as hell.
And I mean, to our listeners at home who want to follow you on social media, do you have like Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter?
Yeah, I have everything. Instagram is the main one that I use. It is it's where my link tree is and everything. You get access to basically everything you need if you want anything to do with me at all. And that's at Catlea Creates. That's CATLEA CREATES.
And my final question for you, Catlea, thank you so much for joining me, is I'd like to give the final word to you. So, what would you like to say to our listeners who is currently listening right now?
I'd like to say thank you for listening to me yap, and I hope you enjoy my music. And thank you to anyone who's already listened to my music who just has been supporting me. And thank you, of course, for having me, Chris.
Thank you very much, Catlea. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck with the new album.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.